Straight ahead on WBKB, Michigan's chief medical executive is also taking on a federal role.
Plus, 2 Michigan doctors call on state lawmakers for action, and 1 local county is hosting a pop-up food pantry.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. Well, the impeachment trials of former President Trump continued today. Beginning at noon, the House impeachment managers and Trump's legal defense team were allotted 16 hours of presentation on the Senate floor. The House impeachment managers began the debate using over six straight hours of presentation without yielding any, looking to show that Trump first provoked his supporters, incited the attack, and then did nothing while the violence occurred.
Well, a prosecutor in Georgia has opened a criminal investigation into former President Donald Trump for his attempt to reverse election results in Georgia. A Fulton County prosecutor is investigating the former president for his attempts to influence the administration of the Georgia 2020 election. The Fulton County District Attorney sent a request to multiple state election officials and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to preserve documents related to the phone call. Prior to Biden's inauguration, Trump called on Raffensperger and pushed him to, quote, find votes to reverse the election results. The investigation includes potential violations of Georgia election law, prohibiting the solicitation of fraud and the making of false statements to state and local government bodies.
Well, today, President Biden announced that Dr. Janae Khaldun will serve as one of the members on his COVID-19 task force. President Biden and Vice President Harris have released a list of non-federal members to serve in the Biden-Harris COVID-19 Health Equity Task Force. Khaldun was listed as one of 12 members of this task force, joining medical experts from 9 different states. Khaldun and the task force will provide recommendations for addressing health inequities caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and for preventing such inequities in the future. In a statement, Khaldun says she looks forward to making contributions as part of the task force to ensure that future pandemic responses do not ignore these health inequities. Well, 2 Michigan doctors called on Republicans in the Michigan legislature to pass the state's COVID relief bill, accusing the GOP of playing dangerous partisan games. Dr. Rob Davidson, the executive director on the Committee to Protect Medicare, joined with Dr. Farhan Bhatti, the state lead of the same committee. Dr. Davidson is an ER doctor in West Michigan, and Dr. Bhatti is a physician in Lansing. Together, the 2 medical professionals said they are disappointed in Republican lawmakers.
I'm extremely disappointed that Republican legislators refuse to give healthcare professionals the resources we need to protect people, reduce sickness, and begin the process of safely returning to normal.
Michigan's COVID-19 relief plan was introduced by Governor Whitmer on January 19th. The bill includes allocating about $5 billion in federal funding to ramp up vaccinations, help schools, and expand testing and tracing of COVID-19. Last week, House Republicans passed a plan that would allocate less federal funding while restricting the governor's abilities, and the Senate introduced yet a smaller plan on Tuesday. The doctors used the new COVID-19 variant spreading through Michigan as one reason Republicans should pass the full plan immediately.
Well, Alpena Public Schools is nearing critical staffing levels in some key employee groups. APS is seeking candidates to fill full and part-time roles that are necessary to operate the district. The schools are looking for custodians, bus drivers, and instructional aides. Substitute positions within these groups are also available for those who desire a more flexible schedule. Human Resources Director Matt Poley says these positions are vital to everyday operations. Poley says it's a rewarding opportunity to earn a living and a pension with a great employer. And interested candidates can visit alpenaschools.com or contact Human Resources at 989-358-5040 for more information. And Alpena Public Schools is giving staff and parents an opportunity to ask questions about the remote learning. The school system will host their third remote learning update Thursday, February 11th at 7 p.m. Superintendent Rabideau will moderate the informational meeting to answer questions and discuss COVID-19 related data. The meeting will be available on a YouTube live stream or through a Zoom link. A survey will also be provided after the meeting. A recording of the sessions as well as the survey will be available on the APS homepage for later access.
Well, residents in need of food in Alpena County have a chance to get some groceries free of charge. The Alpena Pop-Up Pantry will host a food giveaway 1 week from today, February 17th from 4 to 6 p.m. Due to the pandemic, the pantry, sponsored by the Alpena County Commission on Aging and a host of others, will be a drive-through event. Organizers say this month the pantry will be collecting donations to help keep Alpena students warm this winter.
Our goal this time is to help replenish that closet for both the elementary and the high school. So anything that's donated this time for this month will go towards that, and then the food bank will match whatever is donated.
Ream stresses that this event is only for Alpena County residents. All donations collected at the drive-up pantry will go towards warm clothes for students in the area. Ream says that if you're unable to make it to Wednesday's event or miss out, there's also another pantry giveaway at the Greenbush Fire Department that same day.
Well, the results are in for the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign, which ran from December 11th to January 1st. During that time, officers made over 7,500 traffic stops and arrested nearly 200 people for impaired driving during the end-of-the-year holiday crackdown. Dennis Ramo, a spokesperson for the Michigan Office of Highway Safety and Planning, says with fewer people on the roads due to COVID-19, arrests were down over last year, but that doesn't necessarily mean progress is being made in the fight against impaired driving.
In 2020, there were 159 drunk driving arrests. So, you know, obviously there's less people out there, so the numbers are going to be down probably a little bit. So I guess we can't speak to that, you know, if there's an improvement when there are less people out there on the road.
According to the 2019 Michigan Annual Drunk Driving Audit conducted by the MSP, 41.9% of all fatal crashes that occurred involved alcohol, drugs, or both. And there is more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up on today's Next Level Wednesday, we speak with one local business owner sharing tips towards success.
Chances of snow are going to increase around our area coming up later in the newscast.
And thank you for that, Ellie. Well, it's Next Level Wednesday, and today one local business owner shares what it takes to be successful and how she stepped up her game during the pandemic. WBKB's Stephanie Minichi has more.
Today I'm in downtown Alpena at Rusty Petunia's, where I am speaking with business owner Laura Shear. She is going to share tips today on how you too can own your own business. Tell me, is this something that was your passion, or did you kind of inherit it? What's your story about becoming the owner?
Oh, it's an unusual story, but I've been in retail for over 30 years, so retail's always been my passion. And so that's really nice, and I've always wanted to own my own store, just nothing really fell in my lap, so to speak.
Subscription to news at WBKB11.com.
The sun's going to have to fight harder than that, but we do finally have some 20-degree weather coming up next week. Isn't that nice? Sports is coming up next, but first, Matt Dazinski is in with a preview. Matt, what's going on tonight?
Thanks, Tyler. Coming up next in sports, we will recap the Spartans' latest win over Penn State from Tuesday night. Plus, we will preview our high school basketball games set for tonight and much more coming up next in sports.
Well, that's all we have for you this evening.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
And be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Minichi. Have a great evening.